Hey everyone, so today I wanted to go over some potential solutions to this problems and also some reasoning you might go through while thinking about this problem. So first, to solve this problem, we're obviously going to need a scanner, and I need to import this from the java.util class. And in this instance, I'm actually going to call my scanner in, and this is mostly to demonstrate that this in can be whatever you want it to be. And we're going to say it's a new scanner from, not that, I don't want to use that constructor, we want to use that one. You could also just type this out, obviously, scanner.in, just like we've done before. So we have our scanner equals new scanner system.in. Oh, there we go. My bad. So yeah, this is gonna be my input, and this is just my object, my scanner object. Just like we discussed before, this is a reference object to my new scanner, and so that's why it can have any name, and so that's why I'm giving it the name in. So you could also call it scanner. That's usually what people make it, but I just wanted to kind of demonstrate that. So next thing we're going to do is probably give the user a prompt. So we're going to say system out println. Actually, let's just do print. And we're going to say please enter a number. And I'm not going to be too clear about my prompt. So here we have our prompt, and it's okay. This is just like a little demonstration. So we're going to go int num equals in.next int. So that means we're going to be scanning for an int. And just like that, now we have a num. So let's try doing our checks. So first, we're going to go if. We want to see if our number is divisible by, say, we'll do 3 first. So we'll do if num, and the way we can check for divisibility, like we said in the arithmetic operators video, is using this mod operator. So we can do if this number mod 3 equals 0. So what this is saying is, if our number, if we divide it by 3 and get the remainder, and that remainder is 0, then we know our number is basically divisible by 3. And we will system.out.println fizz. And we'll try the same thing again, else num percent 5 equals 0, and we can print out buzz. And last thing, what is happening here? Huh? I'm gonna ignore it for now. Oh, this also does need to be an else if. That was my bad. And then else if num percent 3 equals 0 and num percent 5 equals 0, then we could print out Fizzbuzz. And lastly, else we can print out our, come on, num. So this is one potential solution we can do, but you're going to see there is a little problem with this solution. So let's try 3. That prints out fizz, perfect. Let's try 5. Prints out buzz. Let's try 4. That prints out 4. What if we try 15? It prints out fizz. And that's because 15 is going through this check right here. And so that means that this one is never going to pass because it's saying else if. Okay, so what if we remove these? Well, let's try this. So we're going to completely remove this check because we're saying, okay, it'll be covered by those 2 checks. So let's try this and see what happens. No, because then, yeah, because this is obviously going to not work because, let's just see what happens. Let's just try it. So here we go. We try 3. And notice it also failed that check, and so it ran this right here. So that's obviously not going to work. Well, what if we try doing our most specific check first? So we go here, and then we can say Fizzbuzz, and then we check for these things, which are subcategories of it essentially, and we try it like this. So let's see what happens here. How does this code work? So 3. Oh, whoops. These all need to be else ifs. My bad. Just like that. So we try this, we'll try 3. Try it again with, come on. Okay, I'm just gonna copy and paste this right here. If I copy that and paste it, then I can go 3. Okay, we could try it again with 5. That prints out Buzz. What about 15? That looks good. What about 2? That looks good to me. So this right here is one potential solution you could have to this problem. And of course, your solution might look different. There's lots of ways to solve this problem. But I want to teach you about basically a coding principle people have, which is called dry, or don't repeat yourself. So let me write that out for you. Dry. Don't repeat yourself. So this is, of course, I wouldn't say this is the best principle to follow, but there are some instances where you got to think about like having repeated code isn't always the best idea, and you want to reduce that repeated code. So following dry, this isn't the best idea because we have repeated code here, 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 and obviously it's impossible to get rid of 100% of repeated code, but we can probably do something to make this a little bit better. So here's one potential solution we could do. Inside of our if statement, first we could convert this to a block instead, and we could put our system.println fizzbuzz. Let's make this only check for 3, and then inside of here we'll go if num percent 5 equals 0. Whoopsie. We could go if num percent 5 equals 0, then we print out fizzbuzz. Otherwise, we will print out what is it? Let me think. Fizz, right? Yeah, fizz. So right here we could do that, and then otherwise if it does this, we'll print out buzz, and then finally, so that does reduce one instance of repetition, but that doesn't reduce every single one because we still have this 5 repeated right here. So I want to show you another solution that, and this is inspired by a video on Tom Scott, and it was actually in JavaScript, not Java. So I'm going to show you that one right now. So here's how the solution works. Basically, instead of going like that, we could create a string, and we'll call this output, or I'll just call it out equals, and we're going to make it an empty string. And so basically, we're just putting this, and that signifies that this is an empty string. And so now we can go if num percent 3 equals, whoopsie, that's an and sign. If num percent 3 equals 0, then we're going to go out plus equals fizz. You might remember these plus equals operators, and they even work with strings, because obviously we can do plus for string concatenation, so plus equals works with strings just like that. And then we could do this exact same thing for 5 and buzz. And then finally, we need to check and make sure, so if out dot is empty, out plus equals num, just like that. And then lastly, we obviously have to print out our output. And this is something I forgot to do on the last one, but I'm going to need to close it, just like that. I don't think it really makes that much of a difference to your program if it just ends right away anyway. But yeah, so here we go. We're running this. So print out a number, 5, works fine. We go 3, works fine. 15, works fine. What about 2? That works good. So those are all of our test cases. And one thing that's so neat about this solution is that you can create, say, a new number. We want to see if it's 4. And then we could just add, how about biz? And then we could say 2, maybe not 2. How about, instead of 4, let's do 2, because I'm trying to do, what's it called, prime numbers. And then say 7. And then we'll do fuzz. And of course, this solution will all work in just the same way. So that's just something really neat about this solution, I think. I really like this solution. It's very clean. All of it's left aligned here. So I actually think, one more thing I just want to say really quick. If we go back to this solution right here, um, you might actually say that even though we're repeating ourselves a little bit less, this solution is kind of harder to read because it's kind of confusing what all's happening here. Because basically, yeah, we have this indentation and it's just a little bit harder to read. So I would say that first solution we had was even better than that where we had where is it? And I'm just using Control Z by the way. Control Z and Control Shift Z to go forward. So learning keyboard shortcuts is a very useful thing when you're programming. So yeah, just like this, I also think this solution is a pretty good solution. Um, so yeah, that's how you can solve this problem. And I hope that this tutorial was helpful with some of the insights you can go through while designing a program.